Hello everybody. We've just got a quick note section for today on the Pythagorean Theorem. So the Pythagorean Theorem, as you might remember, is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And that is the formula that relates the sides of a right triangle. Always got to be a right triangle. And this tells us that if we square this side and we square this side and we add them together, we get the square of this side. All right, there's also a converse to the Pythagorean theorem that says if the two sides of a right triangle can add together, you square them and you add them together and you get the third side, that means that your triangle is a right triangle. So the Pythagorean theorem can also be used to show that a triangle is a right triangle. So you've done some of these before to solve for the missing side. All we're going to do is we're going to plug these into our Pythagorean theorem. The only thing we need to keep track of is the fact that c squared has to be the hypotenuse of our right triangle. A and b can be either of the legs. So we can say 6 squared plus 8 squared equals x squared. That gives us 36 plus 64 equals x squared. There's 100 equals x squared. And then we take the square root of both sides and we get 10 equals x. And that's all there is to it. That means 10 is that longest side. Over here, we sometimes have to solve for a missing side that is the leg of the triangle. And when we do that, we just have to make sure that we make x a or b. So we can say x squared plus 4 squared equals 4 root 5 squared. I'm going to make sure to put that in parentheses because I need to remember to square all of it. So we've got x squared plus 16 equals here. Remember our power rule. We've got two things multiplied together. So 4 squared and the square root of 5 squared. So 4 squared is 16. The square root of 5 squared is 5. So we've got x squared plus 16 equals 16 times 5, which is 80. Subtract 16 from both sides, and we get x squared equals 64. Take the square root, and we get x equals 8. So 8 is our missing side. A couple more examples here. We've got this example, which is just a rectangle, and it has a diagonal drawn through it. If we talk about drawing the diagonal of a shape, we have to draw the corner-to-corner measurement. So here we've got our two legs, and we're looking for our hypotenuse. So we've got 5 squared plus 12 squared equals x squared. Then that's 25 plus 144 equals x squared. Add those together, we've got 169 equals x squared. Take the square root of both of those and we get 13 is equal to x. So our hypotenuse there is equal to 13. All right, then we have some words instead. The length of the diagonal of a square with a perimeter of 20 centimeters. Well, think about it. The square with a perimeter of 20 centimeters means that the sides of that square are 5, 5, 5, and 5, because we divide 20 by 4. We're looking for the diagonal of that square. So we have two legs of our right triangle, and then we have our hypotenuse. We can say 5 squared plus 5 squared equals x squared. There's 25 plus 25 equals x squared. 50 equals x squared. Take the square root of both sides. And the square root of 50, 50 can be broken down into 25 times 2 equals x. So that's going to be 5 root 2 is equal to our diagonal x. Notice the relationship between the sides here. So the sides of our square are 5 and 5, and our diagonal is 5 root 2. We're going to talk about that on a future day in this chapter about why that happens. All right, and then down here we want to find the perimeter of a rhombus. So the rhombus has the diagonals that intersect at right angles. So we have a right triangle created here. So we can say 3 squared plus 5 squared is going to give us this outside side, which happens to be the hypotenuse of this small triangle, equals x squared. So that's 9 plus 25 equals x squared. 34 equals x squared. And then we square root both sides. But of course, there's not a way to take the square root of 34 and reduce it, so we just get the square root of 34 is equal to x. And since that's one side of our rhombus and we have 4 of them, we do 4 times the square root of 34, and that is our answer. All right, remember that if we multiply an irrational number we just multiply the coefficients. So this is like 1 square root of 34 multiplied by 4, and we get 4 square roots of 34 as our answer. That's literally all the notes for today. So we're done. So go ahead and do the 9.4 worksheet, and make sure you remember that there is a quiz tomorrow over 9.1, 9.3, and 9.4. You'll be able to take that from home if you are home. All right, bye.